Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to PAVOS. Our name means the Fire Attestation and Research Building Institute. We carry out the following services and activities according to the requirements of manufacturers, importers, distributors or their authorized representatives who place on the market specified construction products or products which are intended for incorporation in a permanent manner in construction works. Conformity assessment according to Government Order Number 190/2002 collection, which lays down the technical requirements for construction products bearing the CE marking. Conformity assessment according to Government Order Number 163/2002 collection, which lays down the requirements for selected construction products, as amended by Government Order Number 312/2005 collection. Conformity assessment according to Government Order Number 173/1997 collection that specifies selected products for the conformity assessment. Testing. Expert opinions and or judgment. Fire classification of construction products and building elements using test data from fire resistance tests. Fire classification of construction products and building elements using test data from reaction to fire tests. Fire classification of construction products and building elements using data from external fire exposure to roofs tests, extended applications of test results, determination of test scope, Technical Standardization Center for Fire Protection, other services, consultations in the field of conformity assessment and certification of products and quality management systems in the building industry, technical assistance in preparation of declaration of conformity to manufacturers or importers, and so on. The Institute history dates back to the 60s. At that time, as part of a state company, the Building Research Institute, established in 1951. In 1990, Fire Attestation and Research Building Institute Praha was established by separating the scientific research, standardization and attestation activities in the fire safety field from this institute. The PAVOS Fire Laboratory manages a considerable scope of mostly unique testing equipment and methods intended for testing passive but also active fire protection. For fire resistance tests of construction products and building elements, we have 7 testing furnaces altogether, the parameters of which comply with European standards requirements. For example, the horizontal furnace allows testing of specimens up to 9 meters long. The number of specimens that can be installed into that large space and tested simultaneously in only one test may be considered as a customer advantage. This advantage is appreciated mainly by the manufacturers of a wide range of fire protection of building constructions, as well as the manufacturers of penetration and joint seals. The maximum furnace output, 5 megawatts, may be used in tests of extremely large products, for example smoke and heat exhaust ventilators. The diameter of the impeller of the biggest ventilator tested to date has been 3,000 millimeters. In that furnace, also cables and supporting cable constructions are tested to determine their functionality class in the case of fire. In the column furnace, the tested elements may be loaded up to 5,000 kN, and thus the real behavior of loaded elements in fire may be simulated, irrespective of element's type, column or load-bearing wall. In HVAC furnace, the fire resistance tests of service installations are carried out, as fire-resistant air-conditioned ducts, fire dampers, smoke and heat control ducts, smoke control dampers, and so on. Smoke leakage rate of door assemblies is tested at ambient temperature and at an average temperature of 200 Celsius in the furnace for testing the smoke control doors. Fire resistance tests of secure storage units and depository box are carried out in depository furnace, Along with door assemblies, not only their fire resistance, but also their mechanical properties may be tested. Those include resistance to cyclic opening and closing, resistance to vertical loading, resistance to static torsion, resistance to impact of a soft and heavy body, resistance to hard body impact. For the initial type testing of chimneys and chimney systems, a hot gases generator is used. This helps to carry out the tests of heat stress due to the test temperature, according to the given temperature pressure class, including tests of such fire resistance. Reaction to fire testing. As the given product reaction to fire may be considered the response of the product or material to the fire to which it's exposed, contributing in its own decomposition to fire development at given conditions. Products are evaluated at end-use conditions in the building. PAVOS Fire Laboratory manages all the test methods, apparati and equipment used for construction products' reaction to fire testing. For example, non-combustibility test, according to EN ISO 1182. Single flame source test, according to EN ISO 119252. Determination of combustion heat, according to EN ISO 1716. The most demanding reaction to fire method and the most complicated equipment is the one for testing the products exposed to heat influence of a single burning item, so-called SBI test, according to EN 13823. That equipment was supplied to PAVOS and installed by a foreign manufacturer. Identical testing equipment, including validated software, has been used by roughly 50% of European testing laboratories. Determination of burning behavior using a radiant heat source, according to EN ISO 92391, has been used with floor coverings. The reaction to fire tests of facades, according to Czech regulation EN 138751, also belong to this test category. Testing of roof exposed to external fire. Roofs exposed to external fire are tested according to ENV 1187. The test T3, with resulting classification B roof T3, applies for the fire hazardous areas. Out of the fire hazardous areas, the test T1, with resulting classification B roof T1, applies. Testing of technical equipment and device for fire protection. Also, the testing laboratory of technical equipment and device for fire protection manages the special testing equipment. On a hydraulic measuring track, it's possible to verify the flow-to-pressure relation of various components of fixed fire extinguishing equipment and of other fittings. Resistance against internal pressure, tightness and strength of components and fittings is determined by computer-controlled pressure source, press. Functionality and durability of fire hydrants is tested by cycling. In the initial type of test of hose systems, both of semi-rigid hoses and of lay-flat hoses, test procedures complying with EN 6711 or EN 6712 are applied, with the assessment of production control system, which leads to the conformity mark CE. In the type tests of fire hoses, test procedures according to European standards, Czech technical standards, or foreign standards are applied. An integral part of tests of extinguishing agents are their proper extinguishing abilities. Their characteristics are verified with foam compounds as well as expansion ratio and half-time or quarter-time of foam decomposition. In conditioning chamber, the accelerated aging of products and materials is simulated, along with dependability and functionality of components, both in low and high temperatures. In the fire technical laboratory, the individual fire technical properties are determined, particularly ignitability of upholstered furniture, combustibility of textiles, toys, vehicle interiors, contents of organic substances, fireman protection means, flame spread on vertically oriented textiles, cables in fire conditions, surface fire spread of building materials, combustibility degree of building materials, and so on. The updated and extended list of accredited testing methods may be found on PAVOS's website, www.pavos.cz. PAVOS Incorporated is a member of the European Group of Official Laboratories for Fire Testing, Inspection and Certification, EGOLF. This membership allows us to keep good professional contact with other European fire laboratories, to deal with technical problems of fire testing, and with the uniform application of testing and classification standards in the whole EU area, to participate in inter-laboratory comparative tests and harmonisation courses. But this membership simultaneously binds us to maintain the professional level and quality of our work. Long-created confidence in technical correctness, independence, and absence of prejudice of our findings and observations is beneficial to our clients through issued documents, recognized not only by authorities in the Czech Republic, but also in most EU member states. Pavos Inc. Fire Testing Laboratory in Veselí nad Lužnicí belongs to a still small number of European fire laboratories which care about the problem of direct impact of product combustion exhalation to the environment. The laboratory installed a modern clearing system of products that are created in test furnaces in the course of testing various materials, products and constructions used in the building industry. Only positively tested constructions and materials minimize the fire risk. Pavos is your partner in making sure that you've done the maximum for your project, and that fire won't be your master, but only your good servant.